Show with Elma and Kimberly and Linda. And I will introduce our guests in just one moment. Remember, this is a Christian-based talk show. And one of the things I love about it is we finish what you start. That's our Philippians 1:6. Whatever you start in Jesus, you shall finish it until he come back to get you. So we all have a lot of work to do, okay? Yes, all right. So on tonight's show, we're going to be blessed to hear about Tunita Bailey. She has her book, which I am so blessed to know that we have another author on the show. And not only that, her book is called Funding Your Dreams, Creative Ways to Finance Real Estate with Little to No Money Down. Now, this is what the book is about, and she's going to talk about this in a few minutes. But the thing I want to know is, what is your name?
My name is Tunita Bailey.
Did y'all hear that? We have Miss Tunita Bailey on the show.
Hey, Miss Baker. But they call me Miss B, the money lady.
Did you hear that?
All right. I like that.
The money lady. Y'all got that? The money lady. So if she has the money lady, where's the money?
I got it.
We're going to have all this money just showering down on us tonight. But anyway, tonight we're so blessed to have Miss Tunita Bailey with her. She's an author. She's also a keynote speaker and real estate finance professional. And we really need this in this day and time because there are a lot of people out there that are trying to buy houses and property. But my main interest is the church tonight. So I'm going to be trying to find out, Miss Bailey, about church because we need a church. Right. We are looking to get us a church, okay? But since she already told you she's known as the what? Money lady. So that means she has a lot of information on that. She is widely recognized as a leading expert on real estate finances and investment strategies. She provides capital resources, consulting, and practical financing solutions for individual and corporation. That's awesome. In residential and commercial real estate. And Ms. Bailey serves as the president and CEO of Capital City Mortgage. Isn't that awesome?
All right.
Yes. Okay. And the Mortgage and Real Estate Training Academy, where she provides residential and commercial finance along with award-winning training for mortgage professional, real estate professional, and individuals seeking to improve their level of expertise in the real estate industry. So we're going to have an awesome time. And she has 25 years, you all,
wow,
of experience. She understands the financial challenges and concern of the small business owner firsthand. She provides cash flow consultation to small business owners as well as all types of funding for residential and commercial real estate, okay? And she is also a licensed mortgage professional and holds a BA from the University of North Texas and a master's in management from the University of Texas at Dallas. Right. I won't hold that against you because I'm a Prairie View A&M University. All right, so, okay, that's okay. We're going to still love you anyway. And she is an executive and professional coach, and she lives in the great city of Dallas. Amen. Where she resides with her husband and 3 children. Amen. How do you manage all of this? Your children must be grown.
They're grown.
Okay, I can understand that. They are grown. Okay.
Yeah.
They're grown. Okay, so we're going to start off with you. Tell our audience a little bit about your background and how you came to do what you do now.
Okay. First of all, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for allowing me to come on your show and share with your audience just a little bit about me and what I do and how I can serve. But the way I got started in this business, I tell everybody, as you mentioned, you got to finish what you start.
Yes.
And I started in this business, even though it's been 25 years ago. I tell people I started when I was 5. Okay.
5 years old.
5 years old.
Now,
but anyway,
what make you think at 5 years old you started this?
You know what? It felt like it was 5. Because I've been doing this for so long.
So at 5 years old, you've been talking.
I've been talking about real estate since I was 5 years old. But I got into this industry my last year in college, and I obtained my real estate license. And then at the time, I sold real estate my last year in school. Okay. And as soon as I graduated, I was basically in sales. I had a job when I graduated in sales. So that's how I kind of got into the real estate industry. And then after a few years in, I had gotten married, and my husband was like, okay, real estate is like up and down. It's feast or famine. You make a lot of money, then you don't. We had started our family, and then basically he was like, okay, it's either you got to get a job or you got to get out of here. So I'm like, okay, I ain't going nowhere. So, and that's been 32 years ago, by the way. And, but yeah, I decided to go into the mortgage banking arena, and I've been in it ever since. I went to work for one of the banks at the time, a Nations Bank at the time, and I learned how to be a mortgage professional, and I've been doing that ever since. And what I noticed about the industry was that there were not a lot of people helping us. And so I thought, well, you know, this is a ministry for me. It's a passion for me. Yeah. And so I just started really focusing in on the community and just helping people that need help with money. And so that's pretty much how I got into the business.
So were you training them how to buy?
Yes, I was a licensed loan officer. Okay. So basically individuals would come to me when they needed a mortgage or they wanted to buy a home. And so when they would come to me, a lot of times we weren't prepared, whether we would have credit challenges or, you know, not enough money or just wasn't prepared. And then a lot of times people just didn't know. They didn't know what they didn't know, and they didn't know what to ask or how to get prepared. And I'll tell you a quick story. When I used to work at Nations Bank, I used to always get my loans declined. And I would think, you know, these people must be prejudiced. They're doing something wrong. Why is everybody that I send in getting declined? And what I realized is that it's a system. Yes, and you have to follow the system, but you got to know what the system is.
There you go.
Right? Okay. And if nobody tells you what the system is, you can't prepare for it. So I began to train and educate, you know, individuals on how to play the game. Yeah. Basically, you got to have your ducks in a row.
That's good.
Yeah, you got to have your credit. You got to have your income. You got to be in the box so you can fall within the system guidelines. It's nothing. It's not black or white. It's just that's what it is. You got to fall within the guidelines. So I found that I just needed to educate people about what to do and how to fall into the system.
Because see, this is what happens when you're in the unknown. And you don't know this.
Right.
And you know, people get mad when you say, well, you're just ignorant to that. Ignorant is just saying you just don't know.
Right.
So you have to have someone to come in and say, let me educate you on this, because a lot of time we do not have our ducks in the row.
Absolutely.
We don't know how to put the ducks in the row. So the ducks are just everywhere.
Exactly.
You know? So this is the reason why we really want you on the show too, is because it's a lot of people. And that's the first thing we do want to say is the banks are prejudiced.
Right.
The banks are holding out because we are black.
Right.
And then we're wondering why are the banks holding out on us? But we have money, but the credit might not be good, like you said.
Exactly.
But if we had somebody to come in and say, hey, Elma, this is what you need. And see, this is where I am. I need to know what we need as a church, what, you know, paperwork, because I don't know.
Right.
You know, so if I don't know and I go into a bank and they say, well, you don't have this. Well, how am I supposed to know that?
Right, exactly.
So it's good to know, Miss Bailey, that we have somebody that look like us. That can help us and prepare us for that, because I know a lot of us want houses.
Absolutely.
And a lot of us just don't understand how to get the house. And I see people that I'm thinking, how could they get in this house when they look like they don't have nothing?
Right.
But they got their ducks in order.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
Well, you know, one of the things that I noticed about us is that we have a history of renting.
You're right.
And so what happens is, if you grew up where your mother and father rented, your grandparents rented, and it's a cycle that goes all the way back.
Right.
Nobody ever told you how to own.
Right,
So we
right.
always came up with the mindset of, okay, well, let me just rent your land or rent your house and for my family, because we didn't know that we were eligible to purchase.
Yes.
Right. And they didn't educate us about doing that. And so I found that it's not hard to do. Like you said, it's just a matter of knowing what to do. So I do a lot of consulting. I usually do a free consultation with people. Let me just tell you what you need to do. Tell me what you want to do.
Right.
And then I'll tell you how to get there.
Right.
And then once you do those things, okay, now I can help you get funded.
And it's the same way you go into the doctor's office.
Absolutely.
And they say, well, tell me what is wrong with you.
Right.
And once you tell them what's wrong, then they can diagnose your case.
Absolutely.
So this is what we need to know is, what is it that we need to have to get started? So what would be the first thing that we would need to do if we was walking in and say, Miss Bailey, I want to buy a house or a church or what?
The first thing you need to do is, like you said, make a decision.
Okay.
I want to buy a house. I want to buy an investment property. I want to buy a commercial building.
What would be like an investment property?
Well, investment, that's a whole nother, segment.
Okay.
It's another wealth building strategy, is that once you actually purchase a home, then you can purchase investment properties and create residual income. And part of my book talks about a lot of the creative ways that you can do that. See, a lot of us didn't even know that. We think that we can just own one home.
Right.
No, you can own as many as you like.
Get out of
There's
here.
no limit to it.
Really?
Absolutely.
So I can own 5 homes?
You can have 10, 15,
What?
20. You can buy an
Did y'all know
apartment
that?
complex.
No, I didn't
You can
know
buy
that.
whatever you like.
Get
There's
out
no
of here.
limit to
What
it.
about duplexes, condominium, townhouses? We can do that too.
Duplexes, condos, townhouses, anything you want, you can purchase it.
Gosh.
Yeah, you can purchase it.
Do you have to have a lot of money?
You do have to have money. Yeah.
A lot of it?
Not a
certain
lot,
percentage,
but
or can you work with that?
Well, I usually tell people, first build your personal foundation. So we're going to go back to the house.
Okay, let's deal with the house.
Let's get our personal foundation.
Okay.
Let's set our foundation on where we live. Let's get our kids situated in a nice school, nice area.
Nice, yeah, okay.
Be proud of where you are. Let's get that done first.
Okay.
Once you build a personal foundation with your house, then you build on top of that with investment properties. Okay. To help you maintain your house. I mean, just like what happened this past year with the COVID, the pandemic. A lot of people couldn't pay their rent. Now, fortunately, they couldn't put them out. Right, because of
their mortgage.
That's right, or their mortgages.
Mortgages.
So they had a lot of things going on where people couldn't pay, but the people that actually own properties and invest in other properties, they didn't miss a beat. They didn't miss a beat. For one thing, there was money available for them so that they could keep going and keep people in their houses.
Right.
So I always start with the personal foundation first.
Okay.
Let's get you started in your home. And so the question you asked me was, what do you do first? The first thing you do is make a decision that you want to purchase a property. Okay. The next thing is you need to do an application. I always have people do a loan application, because what happens is that tells me that you're serious, that you really
That's true.
want,
I can see that.
That you really are wanting to move to the next level. So you're going to do a loan application. The loan application, that tells me your story.
Okay.
That tells me where you live. It tells me about your credit. It tells me how much money you have. It tells me your income. It tells me everything.
You can get all of that from a loan application.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
I have to have that from
That's
a loan
like a private investigation.
That's right. I'm going to know your history. We're going to know each other.
So
right?
I can't lie.
You can't lie. If you do, I'm going to find out. Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty much the first step or the second step is to do a loan application.
Okay.
Then we run your credit. Okay. And credit is usually a big issue.
Okay.
Because there's a threshold. You have to have a minimum credit score of 620 and above.
Okay.
Now you can buy a house with the 580,
Okay.
but you're gonna pay a higher interest rate.
Oh,
You're gonna have
okay.
to have more money down. You can't participate in any down payment assistance programs. So what I tell people is, let's get the credit where it needs to be.
Okay, can you help with that as
Absolutely, absolutely,
well? Wow,
absolutely.
Miss Bailey, you doing it all.
Yes, ma'am.
So if I came in with a 580, you can help me get up to a 20?
I can help you get as high as we need to get you for your program.
You all need to look at this show. Listen now very carefully, because if you're having credit problem, Miss Bailey is going to be able to help us get that credit up. Okay,
Absolutely.
so you can help us with the credit.
I can help you. We have a program called the CRAP program, and it's a rapid rescore program.
Oh.
So within 7 to 10 days, we can actually help you get your credit up.
No, you can't,
Yes,
Miss
ma'am.
Bailey.
Yes,
Between
ma'am.
7 and 10
7
days.
to 10 days. Yes, ma'am.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
What
yes,
does
ma'am.
the CRAP
The
entail?
CRAP stands for Credit and Rapid Rescore.
Get out of here.
And so what happens, again, when you have a mortgage pending,
Yes.
then as a lender, we have the ability to go directly to the credit sources, the vendor, the actual Equifax, TransUnion.
Yes.
We can go directly to them and have them update your bureaus.
Ooh.
And so when they update your bureaus, then they update your credit scores, right?
Wow.
Okay,
So-
when you said bureaus, what's
Your credit bureaus, like there's
Oh.
3 credit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All 3 of those will be up
give
there.
your
Right.
credit scores?
Right,
Oh, okay.
right. Yeah,
Okay.
Equifax, TransUnion, and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yes, ma'am, Experian. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So that's usually the first hurdle is just getting past the credit. So once we get past the credit,
We good
then
almost.
we can pretty much, our options are open. Then we
Wow.
can start talking about the different products and down payment assistance programs. Just all the things open up to you once you have, like I said, you're in the system.
In the system
then you
now.
can qualify.
Let me
Oh,
ask another
go ahead.
question. I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
What about the interest? Will it change due to the credit score and you helping with the credit score? When you go to purchase the house, what about the interest rate?
So
on
the
it?
interest rates right now in the market is in the 2s.
What?
Whoa.
No, 2%.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you
God.
serious?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
this is a good time to buy a house.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God.
Yes,
Did y'all
ma'am.
hear that? 2%.
My
This
Lord.
is a good time to
Yes.
check out Miss Bailey
Yes.
and get in a house. This is 2021, you all. We need people in houses and stop renting, because see, with renting, you cannot write that off on income
That's
tax,
correct.
right?
You cannot.
But
That's
with,
right.
when you buying, you
You write
can
it
write
off.
off. So y'all see the difference. Renting, you're just throwing the money away, but buying,
Yeah.
they can actually write that off.
Yeah.
Okay, so you saying it's right at 2%.
Yes, sir, right at 2%.
Wow.
And of course, it fluctuates every
Yeah,
day,
right.
but it's really a good time to purchase a home.
See,
And
I knew that.
the higher your credit score, the better rate you get.
Yeah, huh?
So if your credit score is, right at 580 to 620, it dictates the interest rate.
Right.
So I always tell people, hey, if you're going to do it, let's do it.
Let's
just
do it the right way.
Do it the right way. And you may not be able to buy today, but maybe next month or the
Right.
month
That's
after.
a good
Right.
thing.
Yeah, just get yourself in position to do it.
And then don't give up.
That's right.
Don't give up.
That's
So
right.
I see in your books you got the different, like you got the fixed rate mortgage, the adjustable rate mortgage. Now I've never heard of high bid loans.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you got your government loan. That's the FHA and
That's
VA
right.
loans. And,
That's right.
I mean, it's so many different loans in here.
It's so
I like
many.
the,
You know what? There's actually 29 different loan
Get
programs.
out of here.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know you
Yes.
know all 29.
I know all of them.
She know all 29
Yes,
of
ma'am.
them.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
you'll be able to tell us which one will be best for us.
Absolutely, based
Yeah.
on your scenario.
What were you finna say?
I
Lynn?
would like the Joe Blow loan.
I didn't see that, but which
Yeah.
that one at the top.
Yeah, the
The
Joe
transition
Blow.
loan, Joe Blow.
So let me tell you what I did. So in the book, I'm good at naming stuff. So,
I can see.
So the Joe Blow loan is for a regular person that's got a regular job. They've been on their job at least
Good
2
point.
years. Just a regular Joe Blow person, go to work every day. They got the credit, they got the income. They just want to buy a house. That's a Joe Blow person.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's all they
They,
want.
they just want to buy a house, and they have everything that is in the box that we
Right.
need. Okay?
Okay.
They got a job.
Okay.
They got income. They got
Uh-huh.
assets. They got credit. They got everything in the box. They can buy a house
But what area could they buy the house in?
wherever they want.
Oh, okay.
There's no limit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can buy wherever you want. We're
Okay.
licensed in 7 states, but in Texas, you can buy a house wherever you want. What we normally do is we try to get you approved. You come in, you tell me, okay, so I want to buy me a $300,000 home. My job is to make sure that you can qualify for that.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and then if you qualify, I'm going to tell you what you qualify. I'm going to tell you how much money you need for your down payment.
Okay.
I'm going to share with you what your interest rate could potentially be based on your credit scores.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you all the information that you need. So
Okay.
when you leave me, you're going to have a pre-approval letter, and then you're going to take that letter to your real estate agent, and they're going to help you buy a home, or you can go to a builder if you decide you want to buy a brand new home.
Okay.
You can
So
do
do you
either
help with us buying a brand new home?
Yes, ma'am.
So-
Whatever you like.
So we could just do it with you. We
Yes,
could do it
ma'am.
all with you if
Right.
we wanted to.
Now I do all pre-approvals, but here's what happens when you
Okay.
work with the builder. They have their own mortgage company, their own lender.
Okay.
So a lot of times they want to take you to them, and that's fine, you
Okay.
know, because they give you a lot of incentives and things like that. But if you just want to buy a regular home, then yes, we can definitely help you do that.
Well, let me ask you this. What if they go in there and they don't have enough money to pay down?
Yeah.
What happens then?
So one or two things. One
Okay.
is you can get a gift,
A what?
a gift. So somebody can give you, if you're short funds to close, so a mother, brother, any relative can give you a gift for your down payment.
Oh.
Okay.
So what do you mean?
100%.
So
So if you need $5,000
Okay.
to close, then you can ask your mother, brother, sister, anybody in your family to give you $5,000.
and so what I do, just bring the 5,000 to you?
You bring it to
or-
closing when you get ready to close
Oh,
on your
okay,
house.
okay.
Yeah.
What if they don't have the 5,000? Then you go try to get a loan to get the 5,000?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Then you have to save the money. You
Oh,
can
you
get
have
it
to
from
save
your
it.
401k.
That's a good idea.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's down payment assistance programs available,
Okay.
which is why you want your credit scores at a
Scores
certain level, because there's
Oh,
640. If you don't have a 640, you can't get any down payment assistance program.
Mm.
So you either have to come up with it yourself, so you save it, or you can get a gift, or you can do a down payment assistance program. But you got to have money.
You got to have
You
the
got to
money.
put some skin in the game.
Right.
Yeah.
And
you
then
got
also
to.
let them know you serious too.
Absolutely.
And stuff like
Absolutely.
that. Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
once we get through with that, and then you help us with the funding,
Yeah.
then they start building a house, so we can go look for a
You
house.
go look for a house and pick out any one you want.
Okay.
Once you find a house,
Uh-huh.
then we do an appraisal
Okay.
to make sure the value is there. And then once everything has been completed on the file, then you close on your loan. So on average, it takes about 21 to 30 days from beginning to end.
To get a house.
Yes, ma'am.
Get out of here.
Doesn't take long at all.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, let me ask a question.
Ooh,
right
Sure.
quick. I'm
She's
sorry,
got a
both
question
the
over
author
there.
has
You can come to the mic.
yeah.
Well, that's okay. Well, just sit right there. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Linda, with yours.
My question is, okay, you get in the home, you everything is. What about this? I think it's called a bloom payment or blooming payment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
the
that's-
blueprint.
okay,
will it
so-
go up? You know, will the price of the house stay the same as y'all agreed upon, or it goes up like 6 months after you get
No,
in the
ma'am. So whatever you purchase the
Mhm.
property for, let's say it's 300,000, just for
home?
round numbers.
Okay.
You purchase your house at 300,000. That's what you purchasing it for,
Okay.
right? But your insurance and your taxes may increase.
Okay.
So let's say your payment. I'm just using a round number.
Uh-huh.
Let's say your payment is $2,000 a month.
right.
Well, it'll stay like that, $2,000 a
Mhm.
month. But then next year, maybe the insurance will go up or their taxes. So your payment may increase to maybe 2,200.
Right.
You know, or it may
Okay.
go down
Yeah.
to 2,100.
Yeah.
So, but the sales price never changes. The loan amount is fixed for 30 years.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about it going up or down or,
Okay.
you know, anything. Most loans today are fixed for 30 years
Or
15.
I was
or
finna say, can you get it
20,
15 or 20?
Yeah, whatever
Oh,
you can
okay.
afford.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I want to say something about the 30-year loan. A lot of people kind of shy away from
Tell
that.
us about that.
The only reason why they do a 30-year
Mhm.
loan is to make it affordable.
And that's a good point.
Yeah,
I like that.
that's the only reason they do that, to make it affordable, because most people don't stay in a home for 30 years.
Right.
They stay in there about average of 5 to 7, and then
Right.
they buy another home. Unless it's your second home,
Yeah.
then people normally stay in there. But that's the only reason for a 30-year.
And you can always pay.
You can
more if
pay
you
an
want
extra
to.
payment
Yeah.
once a year, and you can reduce your term if you want to do that. Pay towards your principal. I mean, there's all kind of ways to reduce the term if you think that that's a house that you want to be in, long term.
People say they do interest only. Do you recommend that?
It just depends. If it's not your forever home and you know that you're going to be moving, interest only just means that's all you're going to pay. There's
Right.
nothing to the principal. So if you
Okay.
bought it for $300, when you get ready to leave, you still going to owe $300. That's
Wow.
basically all that means, is that you just paid interest. It just depends.
Okay.
If you're talking investment property, then yeah, you pay interest only because you're going to sell the house, right? But if it's your primary resident, you want to keep that property and pay principal and interest.
But do you still accumulate
Equity?
Equity in it?
Yes.
Okay,
When
good.
you pay principal and interest is the
Okay.
only time you create equity.
Not interest only.
Not interest only.
No, you do not
Okay,
create
that's what I
any
was
equity.
wondering, yeah.
Yes. Your principal balance is going to stay the same.
Okay.
You're not going
Did you
to
have a
hit it
question?
at all.
Come up here to the mic so we can hear you.
Okay, this is very interesting because I just helped my son just bought a home 2 years ago. Now my daughter is in the process.
Okay.
And I was wondering about your mortgage company, but you answered the question about does it help finance in different areas?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's good to know.
Yep.
Does other mortgage companies that do the CRAP or
No, I named that program.
Oh,
So
okay.
That's our program. Okay, so
Because
that
I'm
works.
getting all
good.
this information for her.
Yeah.
Even though she's dealing with somebody, but
Right.
it's always good to know somebody else that can do
Right.
something.
That's
right.
different.
Let me say something about the CRAP program.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
we are not a credit repair company.
Right.
I just
Right.
want to make that clear.
Mhm.
That's just part of our services that
Yeah.
we're offering people, is the
Okay.
opportunity to get their credit
To get
in
their
place.
credit up.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I just want to,
That's a
say
good
that.
point.
Yeah.
Also, the system in getting a house today is so much different than it was 15, 20 years ago.
Yes,
But it
ma'am.
was
It
so
is.
easy to get homes
It was.
back then.
If you were breathing, you could get a
Right.
home.
My daughter
Just walk in and say,
Just
I'm
walk in, I
alive.
want it, and you can buy it.
because she came home, telling me all these things what she need to do, and that shows a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
What we need to do, because I remember 15 years ago, it just was so easy. You got the money, put it down,
Yeah.
Yeah.
these credit cards, this and that.
That's
And
right.
she said, Mom, now 15, 20 years ago, everything has changed.
Yeah.
But talk about it's so different. On one hand, people don't realize about if you have a school loan balance.
Yes.
That is
Student
that is really
loans.
what keeping
Yeah.
Student
Uh-huh.
loans. Listen, you got to pay the government back.
Mhm.
You got to pay
Wow.
them back. You got to set up a payment arrangement. It will stop you from getting
That's
another
right.
government loan. If you have a loan that's in default, you have to make payment arrangements and make payments for at least 3 months in order
Okay.
for you to qualify for a government loan. So you cannot
So you
be in
still
default.
can get a government loan, as long as
You
got-
can, long as you
Okay,
have
yeah.
3 payments, 3
Oh, yeah.
consecutive payments, and you can't send 3 payments in at one time.
Mhm.
You
It's
gotta
got
have
to
a-
be 3 months worth of
So
consecutive
they can say
payments.
that you're on time.
Yes,
with it.
ma'am.
But that would not affect you getting a house, right?
No, ma'am.
But
Okay.
government loans, it will.
You cannot get an FHA loan,
loan.
a government
Unless
loan.
you do 3 months.
Yes, ma'am. If
okay.
you're in default on your student loan.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to take
But
care of
right
that.
now they're not in default, right? Then they stop
They're
that for
all
the
on
COVID?
deferment, but I think
Yeah.
this month they started back,
Back up. Okay.
collecting payments.
Mhm.
But as long as it's in deferment or
Yeah.
it's not in default, if
That's
it's in
good.
deferment, that's fine. You still can purchase a home.
Okay,
Well,
great.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You were talking about, dealing with the credit scores, right?
Mhm.
But how is that going to work with the church? The church doesn't have a credit score.
Well,
So can you explain that to
the
me?
the
Yeah.
church doesn't have a credit score, but it's always got to be a personal guarantor. Okay.
Right.
So even if you're buying a building, whether I don't care if it's a church or apartment building or whatever,
Mhm.
the asset alone, we look at the value of it, but
Okay.
somebody has to sign to say, I'm agreeing to pay back this money, whether
Okay.
it's 200,000 or if it's $1 million, somebody's got to sign.
Okay.
So you have to still have the credit. You still have to have the assets. Somebody has to sign. Now, the good thing about doing a church or a commercial building, it can be multiple people. Like you can have, 3 or 4 people on one loan, or whoever has the stronger credit, we can do those people on the loan.
Do they have to put up collateral though?
You got to put some money down. Yes,
But I'm
ma'am.
talking about they don't have to put no
No,
house up
no,
or nothing like
no,
that.
ma'am.
But
No,
the money,
ma'am.
yeah, we know about the money
Yes,
part.
ma'am. Yes,
it's
ma'am.
just that the credits.
Yes,
Okay.
you still got to have credit, but no,
Okay.
they don't have to put up collateral, but
Okay.
they are guaranteeing the loan.
Okay.
So if there's any type of default or anything like that, then it goes back on the people that signed for it.
Mhm. Do they get the church back if anything happened, or how they do that?
Well, so, I have this thing that says if you don't pay, you can't stay.
Uh-huh.
Same thing with the church. If you don't pay, you can't stay.
That's right.
That's how
Okay.
it works. I mean, they will
Well,
foreclose
that's what
on
I'm
it.
saying. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't pay, you don't stay.
You
Okay,
can't
but-
stay. That's how it goes.
That's even in your own house.
That's right.
You can't stay.
You can't stay. I don't care if you're renting or not.
So if you have people signing for the church and it goes into default, what happens? Do they have to pay? It's sort of like a credit card, right? Or
Well,
is it similar to that?
it's not
or-
really like a credit card. It's
Mm.
a different type of loan.
Mhm.
As far as the church going into default, the lenders really don't want to foreclose on a church.
Mhm.
So they're real picky about when we set it up.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have the right personal guarantors. You got to have so much money coming into the church to make sure that you can pay the note.
Right.
So it's a little bit more scrutiny around it.
Right, right.
Because they don't want to foreclose on it, So
Mm.
it's just a little extra things that we have to do to make sure
Yeah.
that it's gonna be successful.
Good. And
Yeah.
that's where we are. We need to know those little
Yes,
what we need to do
absolutely.
to get it, because once you get into whether it's a house or a church or whatever, you don't want to lose it.
Absolutely.
Right.
You don't want
Absolutely.
to do that.
Absolutely.
And we want to be
I-
able to pay
I
it
want-
off.
I want to tell you something though. Here's what I recommend. Okay.
Mhm.
Because right now with the pandemic and where we are, there's a lot of churches that are closed. Everybody's
Mhm.
worshiping on Zoom or at
Right.
home or what
Mhm.
have you.
Mhm.
So you don't have a lot of people coming in. But I tell you what is open is daycares, educational facilities,
Mhm.
or assisted living facilities.
Mhm.
So a lot of time, and this is in my book too, when I talk
Mhm.
about commercial financing.
Mhm.
If you're trying to buy or build something, you always want to buy something where other people are going to pay you.
Mhm.
And that you're not just dependent on one source of money coming in.
Right.
If you have a church and people don't pay their tithes or they don't pay
Right,
their
right.
offering, then you're in trouble. But if you have a church and a school, now you got other
Income
revenue coming
in.
in from
Yeah.
the school, from the state with the
Right.
with the meal programs. You have other revenues.
You coming in.
Or if you have an apartment where you do a senior living facility
Yes.
and you got that on the ground. So when you have to think about the lending aspect of it. If you come to a bank and you have all these revenue streams coming in to secure that the church is going to be paid for, you have a better chance of getting your loan.
It's a big
You see,
plus.
so I would focus on what other things that I can do around it that's going to create that revenue, and then you may be able to pay cash for your church or your building. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's just a different way to look at it.
Okay.
Yeah,
And if you don't have that, we can still purchase a building.
you
right?
can absolutely.
It's just the way you help us to get. But
Yes,
then
ma'am.
even after we purchase the building, we can bring in the daycare.
You can absolutely.
And all that.
You
'Cause
can
see,
do-
that's one of the things we were looking at is having a school or
Right.
the daycare school.
Yes,
you know,
ma'am.
I went to school to get my daycare license.
Oh,
I got
okay.
it. You know, so I got all that when we was first thinking about buying.
Uh-huh.
I went on and got the daycare license and
Okay,
everything.
awesome,
Because
awesome.
that's one of the things we do want to do when we get to church is to open up a daycare.
Absolutely.
Because we want to be able to hire people.
That's
you
right.
know,
That's right.
and bring in training sessions and workshops and all this stuff.
Right.
So we have a plan.
Yeah.
It's just that trying to get the building and everything to make the plan work.
Right,
Pastor,
exactly.
You mean to me you could have been keeping my kids all the time?
I ain't keeping your kids, King. I'm gonna be the director over. You know what I'm saying? I went to get the director board so I can have somebody on pocket and I do all the paperwork there, you know. Like we got Sister Bartha, say she's a teacher and everything. She can run our teachers. We got people in the church that can do it.
Right, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it's just the point of getting the plan together, what we need to do,
Yes, ma'am.
and make this work. You know, when God give you a vision, he'll give you the avenue to make it work.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, so we have what we have the vision.
Right.
We just don't know what to do with the vision right now.
Right.
how
Well,
to
you just
implement
need you just need a strategy and a plan.
There you go.
So you can execute. You
Right.
know, on the vision. And I think that's a great idea that you went and got your director's license, because if you start the daycare first, you can find a building,
Right.
start the daycare. You may even be able to build your own church. That's another avenue. You don't have to buy something existing, which you may be able to find some good deals right now.
Right now.
But, you know, think about that as well. You can also build on to it.
Yeah, we can do that. We're
Yes.
going to have to definitely set up an appointment with you
Right.
to see which direction the church need to go into this, because when you have so much that you want to do, you know, you want the food bank, you got so many ideas
Right.
that you want to implement.
Right.
It's like a standstill right now.
Right.
Which way do I go? Right, left, north, south, east, and west?
Yeah.
You know, so
Right.
that's what we're at that point.
Yeah. Well, typically what I recommend is phasing things out.
Mhm.
And so when I do my consulting with people, then we
Okay.
sit down, you tell me
Yes.
everything you want to do,
Okay.
and then we'll do a phase. Phase 1, we're going to
Okay.
do this. Phase 2, and we
2.
write out the plan.
Okay.
So we're going to do this, and then this.
I like that.
Yeah, and then that way it makes it clear. You can organize around your phases.
Mhm.
You can ramp up to it. You can raise money for each phase.
Okay.
It's just a better way to approach it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good. That sounds
Right.
really good. Do y'all have any other questions? Okay. Could you come to the mic, please? But no, that up here. But you know, this is so good of information, because a lot of time we don't purchase things because we don't know.
Absolutely.
And we'll be renting the rest of our lives. And we want to
Absolutely.
get people out of renting
Mhm.
and buying.
Mhm.
Okay, what is your question?
Do you think that partnerships are pretty good? Like if so that when you're trying to get the loan and everything,
Mhm.
and like let's say you're trying to get your loan for your church and
Mhm.
everything, if you know something that's already existing,
Yeah.
and then you want to partner with someone that's already got that relationship with the
Mhm.
bank or
Mhm.
something like that, do you know how to do? Like, do you know how
Yeah.
to tell us about that type of aspect of
Yeah.
doing it?
Absolutely. So one of the advantages of buying commercial properties or multifamily churches, anything like
Mhm.
that, you can have as many bars on the loan as you like. So you can do a joint venture partnership. You can do any partnership, and hopefully the 2 people or 3 people complement each other. Like one person may have the credit, one person may have the money for the down payment, one
Okay.
person may have the building itself. You know, so
Mm.
yes, you can create partnerships.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Oh.
That sounds interesting.
And you know what, I thought we had.
Come to the mic. Come to the mic so we can hear you.
You know, I know quite a few couples
Mhm.
that's not married,
Mhm.
you know, getting a home. And I said, well, how they get a home and they not married?
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
didn't know that that you can do that now.
You can.
Oh,
you
really?
can be.
Yeah.
You don't have to be married.
No, ma'am.
So you can buy a house together.
Yes, ma'am.
But what happens if
If they split.
if they separate?
Yeah. What
Yeah.
happened if they split? I mean,
That's what I'm saying. What happened? You don't know. You just
Same thing happens if you
if you
rent the
divorce,
house.
I guess, huh?
If you rent the house and it don't work, somebody got to leave, right?
Somebody gonna go, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, the difference in buying a home is that you can sell it. You got equity in it. You can split the money and everybody can go their own way. But hopefully it'll work out and you can, you know, kind of keep things going. But yes, you can purchase a home with someone other than your spouse. Also, if you're married, you can purchase a home without your spouse. You don't-
Really?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know
one
will that
person
person
has,
with his name have to be on there?
yes, ma'am, in
Oh,
the state
well,
of
oh,
Texas. Their name has to be on the deed, but not on the mortgage.
Not on what?
Not on the mortgage. So on the mortgage,
Okay.
that's what you apply to get the loan
Okay.
for. You can apply for it by yourself,
Uh-huh.
but in the state of Texas, we're community property. If you're married, the spouse name goes on the deed and
Oh,
not,
but not
on the mortgage. Yes, ma'am.
So who gets the house?
Well,
Would the
both
house be
people are
mine?
still ultimately liable for it.
Uh-huh.
It's just one person is liable for the mortgage. Now, what happens is, let's say something happens and you want to sell it, you want to take cash out
Uh-huh.
of it, then you can do that, but the other party has to sign.
That's a
it.
sign.
Wow. So I mean, it's just like putting your name, both names on there.
Well,
I
the reason
That's
you
jacked
mean, what is the reason
the
of
reason
doing that?
why you
Though?
wouldn't do that is, say one person doesn't have the credit,
Okay.
right? And so the one person does. So one person can get the house, the mortgage, and then so that's the reason.
Okay, so if their credit is messed up, then you could get
Right.
the other person and get the house.
Exactly.
But the house still belongs to both
Absolutely. Now you can also do it all by yourself.
of them. And not
Instead-
even have.
Not even have.
But
them
I'm
on
talking
there.
about married.
Oh well, if you're married, this is a
Uh-huh.
community property
Property,
state.
okay.
If it's owner occupied,
Uh-huh.
you have to put your spouse
Oh.
either on the note or the deed.
Okay.
Now, if you're buying investment property, you
Okay.
can buy that all day long by yourself,
Oh, really? Even
Yes,
though I'm
ma'am.
married.
even though you're married.
So if you
Wow.
bought the house,
Mhm.
you said this is an investment.
Right.
His name will
You
not
can-
go on the
You
deed.
can buy it sole and separate by yourself.
Okay,
Wow.
can
You
we
can buy as
say,
many as you like.
can you have a contract signed and although his name's on the deed, he don't get any parts of the money, anything? Can you do a contract like that?
Let me try to make sure that he don't get the money.
Well, you can sign whatever, you can make whatever agreement you want to make, with your spouse. But as far as the lender is concerned, I mean,
They don't
it doesn't
care.
matter to
Yeah.
us.
That's
Yeah.
community
Okay.
property.
But
It's
within that
community
one
property.
time they would, I don't know if this still happens. Some people would use like a parent, especially
Yes.
an older parent,
Yes.
because of the tax break that you would get, especially if you had a parent that was maybe over 65.
Only if the parent is going to live with them, you
Right.
get tax breaks.
Right.
Yes,
Oh,
And they would
but
put
you
the
can
parent's
purchase a
name.
home.
Mhm.
They call it non-purchasing co-bar, or non-occupying co-bar. That just means that your mom or dad can sign for you. They don't necessarily have to live in the house. They can have their own house, but
Oh,
they
okay.
can go on the loan with you. I mean, I do those loans all the time.
Wow.
And it
Ah.
gives you a better tax.
No, it's
Right.
not. It's not anything with the taxes, because it's not the taxes. It's the fact that you can get approved for it, and you can use their income or their credit. Like, say for example, if somebody's a veteran, if the dad is a
Yeah,
veteran
okay.
Uh-huh.
and the son or daughter's wanting to buy a house, well, the dad can buy it for the daughter or son, and get like a $1 movie and $1 VA movie.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's just
Wow.
different ways that you can do it.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
Okay, now, you Capital Mortgage.
Capital
Is that-
City Mortgage,
that's not
yes, ma'am.
same as a
Capital
lending.
City Mortgage.
Yeah, but is it the same as a lending
We are
to
a mortgage.
refinance?
Yes, ma'am. We do purchases, refinances, investment properties. We are a full service nationwide lender.
So it's
Okay.
like a one step.
Yes,
one
ma'am.
Stop, or what
Yes,
is it?
ma'am.
One
One-stop
stop
shop.
Yeah, one stop shop. You get all here
Yeah.
at Capital City
Mortgage. Yes, ma'am. And-
Okay, now tell me this.
Yes, ma'am.
Several years ago,
Uh-huh.
I'm divorced,
Uh-huh.
and my ex-husband name was still on the deed.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but
Right.
nothing's tied up. He didn't pay the house. No, I'm doing all this.
Right.
So I wanted to refinance my home
Right.
for a lower mortgage rate.
Right.
So I was approved and everything. And I was going through one of those big companies that be advertised on
Mhm.
TV. And I called, and everything, and I was approved within minutes
Right.
to refinance. But they didn't tell me. They had me going through all these steps, paying the appraisal, $500 or whatever,
Right.
and doing this and everything, and come the last minute, they told me that it couldn't be done because his name was on the deed. And I said, what? He said, well, his name is on the deed of the house. And it can't be done unless he get his name
He
on the.
signed.
I said, well, that's the point. I don't want his name on it.
Right. Right.
I
right.
want it mine.
Yeah.
Self.
Yeah.
So
I don't
that's-
know why they told you. Were you taking cash out? Or
No, I
just
didn't
a
want
rate
any
and
money
term
out. That's the
refinance?
point. I
Yeah,
just want a
they
lower
should have been
interest.
able to do that. I don't know why they wouldn't have been able to do it. Because if you're divorced,
Mhm.
you can refinance the house in your own name.
That's
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Even though his name was still on the deed.
yes, ma'am.
And see,
Doesn't matter.
they told me that, and I didn't want to go through it
Hmm.
again until his name was totally off the deed.
Well, there's a way to get his name off the deed
Oh,
too.
I got it off. Now.
Okay. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's-
So as long as you got the deed, the quick claim deed, or whatever you did
yeah,
to get his
I went
name
through
off,
quitclaim
yeah,
warranty
then
deed.
then
But he
you're
had to
fine.
agree though.
Yeah. Yes,
They had to
ma'am.
agree and get it notarized.
He does have to agree.
And,
Yeah.
and then he wanted me, I'm not saying all men think women are stupid. He wanted me to get equity out of the house.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I didn't want equity. Equity was gonna be more, they were gonna give you the money.
Take cash out.
No,
Yes, ma'am.
but that was gonna have to be repaid too, right?
Yeah. Well, let me say this. Why wouldn't you want equity out of the house, the cash out of the house?
because I want to get me.
she just wanted the Benjamins.
Okay.
No, not really. Because I thought it has to be something repaid back.
Well, it does.
Okay,
But let me tell you the advantage
Yeah.
of doing that.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have other credit card debts that you might want to pay off? You have any
well, I
other
did
debt?
at that time.
At
I don't
that
have any
time,
never
yeah.
too.
Okay.
I did at that time.
So the interest rates are so low
Mhm.
right now. If
Mhm.
you look at any credit card or
Yeah.
anything like that, the interest rates on those credit cards is 17, 21, 23%.
Yeah.
24.
They're very high, right?
Right.
So what people are doing now is they're refinancing their home. They're getting their interest rates in the 2s and 3s. They're
Mhm.
taking cash
Wow.
out.
Mhm.
You can do a 15-year loan, a 10-year loan. You don't have to take it back to a 30-year. You
Mhm.
can just and take the cash, pay off all your bills, or even just put some money to the side.
Okay.
It's cheap money because the rates are so low.
Mhm.
And
So
you
why
do-
not?
Well,
That's a good
I'm
point.
thinking about it again. I'm kind of weighing some time out for right now,
Uh-huh.
but I'll keep you in mind.
Yes, ma'am.
To do that, because everything is cleared.
Yes, ma'am.
It totally now.
Yes.
But and I surely don't want to refinance for no 30 years, maybe 10.
No, yeah, you
it
can do
10 years? Can you do it
15.
for 10?
You can do 10, 15, or 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, see, I'm glad I came.
See,
because
I
knew
told
had,
you to
I knew I
come.
had some questions for
That's
you.
good.
Yes, ma'am.
But
That's
okay,
awesome.
that's
Thank
good
you
to
so
know.
much.
So
I
let
look
me
forward
ask
to
you this
helping
question. I know our
Sure.
time is getting ready to close. What if your house is already paid off?
Yes, ma'am. You can still take equity out of it.
And then the equity is something that you can pay back.
You're
like
gonna
to pay
pay it
back.
back just like a
Yeah.
regular mortgage.
No,
You're still
okay.
gonna pay it back. It's gonna be at a cheaper rate.
Mhm.
But what I tell people about money, you have to have a plan for it
There you go.
because it'll go away.
Quickly. Yes, it will.
So I when I first started in the business, I used to just help people get money. Then I realized they'd come back because they
broke.
spent it.
They done spent it.
Just like people do the lottery. They
Yeah.
win the lottery, then they turn around, they broke because it's not the money, it's your mentality, it's your mindset. So you have to understand how to deal with money,
Yeah.
how to use it to your advantage, how to invest with it.
Mhm.
So I don't just help people get money anymore,
You
even
have-
though
you
I'm the
teach
money
them.
lady. What are we gonna do? What's the plan?
Okay.
And then I will help them do that. So
Okay.
yes, you can take money out of your homestead. You can take money out of investment properties
Mhm.
to buy other things with it. I mean, other real estate.
Okay.
I always say buy something that's going to create cash flow for you
Right.
because you never know. Look what happened in 2020.
Right.
People got sick, they got laid
That's
off.
right.
You got to have some other form of revenue.
Mhm.
Like I say, you either a side hustle or a piece of real estate or something that brings you additional revenue.
Mhm. So duplexes and
Duplexes,
townhouses
fourplexes,
and stuff. Because
townhomes.
we have a lot of young people out here that don't know which way to go.
Mhm.
And so we want you all to contact Miss Bailey because she can help these young people to get your house and stop renting.
Yes.
And that's the thing. We want you to stop renting and start buying
Right.
and everything. So we're going to, how can we contact you again?
You can contact me at Capital City
Okay. Oh, that's right. Mhm.
MTG.com. That's our website.
Okay.
And you can also contact me via my email at tbailey, BAILEY,
Mhm.
at capitalcitymtg.com.
Okay. And we're going to have that information at the bottom of the screen as well
Mhm.
and everything because this is such an educational information on buying houses, commercial property, and all that. So you young people also can start investing your money instead of just buying clothes and all this stuff. And that's not going to make you some money. Let's think about how we can invest our money and make our money grow to help us to, so when you get married, you have some money for your family and everything. You don't have to be worried about going bankrupt and all this stuff. So, Miss Bailey, we have really enjoyed this information. Don't forget her book is called Funding Your Dreams. And how can we find your book?
My book is actually on Amazon.
Okay.
You can go on Amazon and actually purchase that book, or I do have a website at MissBeTheMoneyLady.com. You can also purchase that.
I like that.
Yeah,
The Money Lady, the Money Lady.
You can purchase the book there.
Okay, and we'll have all this information on there.
I like this right here. She has in the book right here. I love acknowledgments whenever I read a book. To my husband, John, who worked diligently for 30 years at the fire department. I'm assuming that's the Dallas Fire Department, working to support our family, paying all the bills when times were tough and pushing me to follow my dreams and pursue my passion as a business owner and entrepreneur. To my daughter, Jasmine, Jade, Jonathan, and she put her nephew, Anthony. And that's really nice. There are husbands out there that pay all the bills.
Ask Kimberly, she knows.
So that you can have your dreams. That's beautiful.
That's right. And that's awesome.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So a shout out to John.
John Bailey.
Shout out to you, John, for being such a supportive husband and stuff. How long you all been married?
32 years this year.
32 years. I got you. I'm married, being 39 this year.
Wow.
All right. Okay, we're getting ready to close, Miss Bailey. What would you share with our audience, some words of encouragement before we close?
What I would share with our audience is take fear out your vocabulary.
Yes.
Because a lot of times what holds us back is really just fear.
That's true.
Because once you step into whatever it is you're trying to do, you'll see that it's really not that hard.
Okay.
And then just do it.
Just
do it, just try it. And also find somebody, if you don't know something, find somebody that does.
Right.
And call and ask questions and just find the information. I mean, there's so much information out there. You can Google just about anything, right? So I would say find somebody, a coach, a mentor, a consultant, or somebody to help you go take yourself to the next level. We have a saying at Capital City Mortgage that we're doing for 2021. It's called stretch and scale. And sometimes we have to stretch ourselves and do something different or outside of our comfort zone in order for us to scale and go take our lives to the next level. So I would say stretch and scale for 2021.
That's good. I like that. And and I'm one of those people that's a little lazy on trying to get information. I always go to my son and tell him, he said, Mama, just Google it. But but the thing of it is, I'm appreciative for you coming tonight because I really do need to sit down and get you to help us as a church, really, to go to that next level. Because a lot of times people get into a lot of churches and they can't trust people because a lot of times they give them the money, then they leave.
Right.
Like I tell the church here, this is our church. It's not just Pastor and I. So I wanted them to come out and ask questions and get involved. So we're gonna get with you as at your convenience or whatever, set up a time.
Sure.
And so we can bring in our advisory committee so we can all sit down and get you to get us started, get us going. So we can have our own, because we have visions here.
Yes.
And we want to implement these visions and stuff. So I think it's been a blessing tonight. You ladies think so? It's been a blessing tonight. And we really appreciate, don't forget to get her book, Funding Your Dreams. And if you would like to be on the Talk of Life talk show with Elma, to bring yourself and tell about your business or your testimony or your book that you have written, we would love for you to come on the show. This show loved for those that are unknown to become known. And we also have Sister Chat, where we bring in different people to sit up there and talk. Oh, we just sit there and talk. We talk about different things. Kimberly and Linda always come up with these crazy topics, and they end up being successful. You know, we talk about things that people might not ever want to talk about because they say, this is a Christian-based talk show. Why are you talking about this? Because people need to know what's going on in the world. So we thank you, Miss Bailey, for taking the time out because we know you're a busy person.
That's okay.
But
Thank you.
for coming out
Yeah.
and sharing with us. The money lady in the house. The money lady in the house. And I'm just so excited
I am
because I just, like they say in the country, I've been educated. I've been educated tonight.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
And
ma'am.
we would love
Yes,
for you to
ma'am.
come back on the show
Okay.
again because as you know, as people get income tax checks, they might want to come in and talk to you about that.
Absolutely.
So we're going to have her information at the bottom of the screen. And again, if you would love to be on the Talk of Life talk show, check me out at www.elmatalkshow.com, and we will love for you to send in us some topics, commercial questions, any kind of question that you would love for us to talk about. Please check us out. And if you would love to sponsor the Talk of Life talk show with Elma, we would love that. So far, we only have the Church Within International Ministry, where my husband and I serve as pastor and co-pastor. And I will give a shout out to the Apostle Glenn Kirkwood. And if you're looking for a church, check us out. We're located at 1250 Mansfield Avenue, Fort Worth, Texas, 76104. We have a 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Sunday school and 11:15 motivational worship service. So check us out every Sunday, Facebook and YouTube, Monday nights and Thursday nights with the Talk of Life talk show, 8 p.m. Until I see you what? Face to face. May God bless you and keep you, and good night.